Yo, what up, guys? It's Toropwnz back with another stream, back with another banger. Guys, today I have a lot new stuff planned. Mob tier lists, Minecraft tier lists. That's what we're gonna be doing today. So, hey, time to start the mob tier list. I guess we start with the creeper because that's really what shows. So, how do we feel about the creeper? Well, let's first look at the mobs before we start like putting them in a spot and moving them around just yet. Let's just look at what we have. So we have the creeper, the pig, the skeleton. Okay, so we have a bunch of mobs. We have the cat also, and we have the ocelot. Okay, so not just one mob, it's like the variants too. We have different fish. That's a big difference because we don't just have the salmon fish, but we have like the Nemo fish and stuff. We have the fox. We even have the sniffer, and I've never even found a sniffer in the game. Okay. Alright, I kind of got an idea of where some of these will go, so I can kind of start off. So the creeper. Bro, there's nothing more iconic of a mob than the creeper. There's nothing you can attest to that. Bro, the creeper face is literally the logo of Minecraft, other than the grass block. I think more people know what the creeper face is and what it resembles than even any other Minecraft icon in the world. So I think the creeper, it has to be as a mob. I mean, it explodes. It doesn't have that much life, which is actually kind of good because you can kind of kill it pretty quick with a sword. But it does explode, and it almost can kill you like throughout the whole game until netherite. So I'm gonna say it's one of, if not the best, it's an excellent mob for sure. I think the creeper design, the only thing that I have like a problem with the creepers is I think they blow up too much blocks, to be honest. And I'm not just talking about the dirt blocks or the grass blocks. I'm talking like they break like all blocks. Like they'll even break like wood blocks. They'll break like stone blocks. Like you could make your house out of anything and they'd break it, which makes no sense. Like I feel like blocks should have be a little bit more indestructible compared to like the creeper. Like the dirt, it's respectable and it's a big hole, but like when I build a house out of oak logs, how the heck do you blow that up? Bro, a bomb wouldn't even blow that up. That doesn't even make sense. So I'm gonna have to leave it at excellent because it is good game design, but I'm gonna have to leave it at excellent. Excellent. Then we have the pig. Honestly, it is one of the worst mobs for food. Pork chops. I hate eating raw pork chops. I rather eat raw chicken than eat raw pork chops. Cooked pork chops are decent, but it also doesn't have any other drop. And the problem with pigs too is that they're shorter than cows, so they're also harder to hit when they run away. And I find less pigs than I do cows or chickens or sheep. And it doesn't really have any purpose. Like no one's farming pigs for food. Like who starts a pig farm now? 1.21. No one. I used to, but no one does now because the sheep also drop wool. So why would you do it? Mine's not as good as pork chops, but then it also drops literally a building block. So, and you can dye the sheep. Yeah, so I think pigs, honestly, I'm going to keep it a whole stack. Pigs are so mid. Pigs are actually really mid. Then we got the skeleton, bro. This dude, bro. The skeleton is so OP, bro. It doesn't even make sense. Hold on. Let me make sure that... Is my stream just tweaking? Or is it my phone? I want to make sure my phone's not lagging. No, it looks fine actually. No, it looks fine. It's just me going crazy. So yeah, the skeleton, dude. I got a couple words to say with the skeleton, dude. Game design wise, when nighttime hits, bro, it's not even the zombies that I'm scared of. It's not the zombies, although they come in a horde, bro. It's the skellies, dude. Bro, there's nothing worse than trying to come out of a cave or dropping into a cave with like half of your hearts gone and you just see a skeleton, bro, or two skeletons. You're cooked. Bro, you're cooked. Not only do they freaking snipe you, bro, but they never stop trying to shoot you like from far, bro. Like you could be running so fast, you'll turn around, you'll try to build, and he shoots you just like that. He's honestly, I think he's almost stronger than the Enderman. I've died more to skeletons than I've died to any other mob in the game. No joke. Honestly, I like that he uses a weapon too, and I like that he actually uses the bow. It's just kind of cool how the AI works on how their bows actually hit, because they're pretty good at shooting you, from even like the craziest angles too. So I'm gonna say that the skeleton is actually an excellent mob. I'm not sure if it's as iconic as the creeper, but it's like right there. It's like the skeleton grinder is one of the best mob grinders you could make. And in early Minecraft, like 1.3, 1.4, 1.5, bro, a skeleton grinder was where I was at 95% of my playthrough on Minecraft. Like, you get bones, you get bone meal, you get arrows, you get bows, and you even get armor too, because creepers can't have armor. So like, skeletons are almost above creepers, but just a creeper is so iconic that you just can't disrespect the creeper. So the skeleton's just right there. Then the spider, guys, we have the spider now. How do we feel about the spider? Um, I'm 50-50 on the spider. You know, I like the spider a lot, but I just don't think that the spider adds much to the game, to be honest. I think that the spider is very, very mid. um it doesn't even match how most mobs move, because the spider doesn't fit in normal dimensions. It's like 2 blocks wide. It's like a block tall, but it always likes to ride up the wall, so it can't just slide through a wall crack. It has to it just gets caught in like a .5 block high up. It doesn't even make sense. So like, farming these guys makes no sense. String is one of the most useless things in Minecraft. I find it very rare that I ever grind for string ever in Minecraft. The XP is bad. They're not that strong, and they're just kind of annoying. Like, honestly, spiders, it's weird. I would rather have Minecraft, it sounds so weird, with cave spiders as the normal spiders than normal spiders, because the spiders' hitbox is so big that they're never ever a challenge. They're kind of just like a fill mob. Like when you have like a pack of zombies coming, and then you have that one annoying spider who like crawled up the tree after you escaped the zombies just to one tap you. Like, it honestly is never a challenge. It's just more of an annoyance. I honestly think, like, thinking about how the cave spiders are, if the cave spiders were just the normal color of a spider, cave spiders are OP, bro. Cave spiders are fast. They can get into basically any block. I feel like they jump a lot too, and they come in packs, bro. So if spiders would come into like packs, like a pack of 3 or 4, dude, that would be insane. But the spider itself, I'm gonna have to say, it's kind of bad. It is kind of bad, honestly. If they remove spiders and put something else in the game, I would not even bat an eye, to be honest. And then we have next up, the sheep is one of the best passive mobs in the game. It gives you food, it gives you building blocks, colorful building blocks, an infinite palette of building blocks. It is one of the most easy mobs to grind and to farm, and they only eat wheat, and honestly, they don't even run when you hit them. They just basically die. They're literally weaker than like a cow. So I have to give, honestly, I think the sheep is one of the best mobs, not the very highest, not the best, but excellent mob in the game. I would definitely say it is one of the best. Then the zombie. God, how do we feel about the zombie? I don't know. I love the zombie, I'm not gonna lie, and I think the zombie is basically the golden standard of what a Minecraft mob should be. But I think there's problems with the zombie that Minecraft seems to have, and I think it's because the AI of the zombie is basically what they give most mobs. If you think about, that's not the skeleton creeper or the spider. Basically, the zombie, the witch, the zombie villager, the wither skeleton, even the zombie piglin, all of these, even how the evolkers, not the evolker, the pillagers walk and stuff, how their AI is all the zombie AI. It's boring. It's not unique, it's not special, and there's no strategy. The only thing I like about the zombie specifically is that when you kill one, I swear I don't know if this is a real game mechanic, but if you kill one, I swear more zombies spawn nearby and start chasing you, bro. Because there's nothing more haunting than you killing a zombie, you turn around 5 seconds later, and there's 5 more zombies chasing you, and they chase you for a long time. So I'd have to say the zombie is not an excellent mob, it's a good mob. The drops are good, it has armor, it could have enchants, it's a decent XP farm, and it's a very easy XP farm to make. And the aesthetic of it is really cool. Like, I like how it has like the Steve skin. I think that's really cool. But I definitely say it's a good mob. Then we get to the chicken. I don't know how I feel about the chicken. I love the chicken, and I don't know what Minecraft would be without the chicken, to be honest. But honestly, they need to give this chicken some more love. They really do. I think the chicken's food and its feathers are dope, and I like how the chicken, I like breeding chickens. I like how the whole thing could like drop eggs and stuff. I like that. I think the chicken just needs more love. I don't know. I think the next update is giving us better mobs. Like, I feel like the chicken just needed more variants, bro. I think an evolved chicken would be the duck. If we would get ducks in the game, it would be like the evolved chicken. Or if the chicken could just have different colors, like not all chickens are white. They could be brown chickens, black chickens, gray chickens, like all different colored chickens. And I think, and that's what they're doing with the new update. I think that is where the chickens needed to be in the very beginning, kind of like the mushroom cow to the cow. I would say the mob is a good mob. I don't know what Minecraft would be without the chickens because I've had so much funny moments with chickens. I think they're one of the derpiest passive mobs in the game, so I think they're pretty funny. Then the cow. Bro, let's thank the cow, dude. If it wasn't for the cow, we wouldn't be able to make books. If it wasn't for the cow, we would be starving. If it wasn't for the cow, we wouldn't even know what farming is for. Bro, nothing was better than breeding your first cow and and killing one of them now because you have three and being like, yo, I just got a bunch of steak and a bunch of leather, and that was so easy. The cow is the best passive mob in the game. It's the best farmable mob. It's the most Minecraft mob. It's the pinnacle of you can milk it, you can get leather from it, you can get food from it, you could farm it easily from XP. It makes sense to farm with it, to use wheat with it. It's just perfect, bro. The cow is the first on the tier list of mobs. It is the first best mob in the game, hands down. You guys cannot refute. Without the cow, Minecraft would not be the same. And if they took out the cow and they replaced it with any other farm animal, the goat, I don't know what it would be. It would not be the same. Now we get to the ghast. How do we really feel about the ghast? Honestly, it's so funny because the ghast is like a very big mob. Like you see the ghast and you think like, oh my god, that could be a boss. Like your first time seeing a ghast and you're like, that's the biggest mob I've ever seen until that point, right? And the ghast really doesn't do anything. The ghast has an AI of like a piece of dirt. It doesn't do anything. And when it chases you, it really doesn't even chase you. It like tries like spitting one fireball at you and then just gives up and flies away. And it clips into the walls and stuff. Like it doesn't even make sense how they made that. I think a better version of the ghast was the magma cube, because the magma cube now in this game is actually so strong. Like if you're in like a basalt valley and there's like 5 magma cubes around you and there's lava pits like every inch of you, you're cooked. Like you're actually cooked, and they do massive damage. But the ghast, the only thing the ghast does is hinder the game. The only time I've ever had an experience with the ghast was when it blew up my portal and I was stuck in the nether. And I had to get the ghast to like 30 minutes later to shoot my portal again to relight it. That's the only, and every single time I've had a bad experience in the nether, it was because of a ghast or wither skeleton. And every time it was because of the ghast, it was like, he was like the ghast likes to third party, which is why I don't like the ghast. It's like every other mob will 1v1 you, but the ghast is like it won't even get close. It will just third party you. And because of that, it is actually kind of a bad mob. Minecraft without gasps would still be Minecraft, and I wouldn't even bat an eye. Honestly, I would probably go into the nether more if the ghast wasn't there. It's just annoying, and the drop is crap. Bro, the fact that that mob, you have to basically use a ranged weapon or like parry with your sword, that makes the mob like special. So you would think, okay, this is going to be a crazy drop. All you get is the ghast's tier, which is just a regen potion, which doesn't even make sense because you don't need regen potion by the time you're like over here shooting ghasts and stuff with bows, bro. Like you got to be good enough at killing mobs that you don't need a regen potion. It needs a something unique about it. I don't know what they can make out of it, but they got to make something. I don't care what it is. The slime. Ooh. Hey, sorry, bro, I'm late. I'm in a diff city right now. Hey, bro, good to have you here, Phantom, bro. It's good to have you here. It's okay. Hey, bro, better late than never. So we're at the slime, guys. How do we feel about the slime? I have a few gripes, but a few good things to say about the slime. Honestly, the slime is an amazing Minecraft mob, and I think it's very unique. It's a very new mob. I know a lot of like slime is not a new enemy in any sort of question, but how they portray slimes in this game fits Minecraft so well. And I've been playing with slimes since the very early dawn of Minecraft survival, and honestly, it's a very unique mob because how it spawns with the chunks. So I'm gonna give the slime, although it doesn't do that much, it basically is necessary for all redstone. It's good, but yeah, it's good, but also rare. So I think an A. It's nice, but I don't think it's an A. I think it's a good mob. I think the slime isn't better than the chicken or the zombie. I'm not gonna say the slime is an excellent mob though. I can't do that. But it is a unique mob, and the spawning is really cool, and it is needed for redstone. So I think it having a multi-purpose is definitely useful. But let's not act like the slime is so useful. It's only used for sticky pistons. Like, let's not act like slime box, or like even the bouncy slime that's used for redstone is not like revolutionary. It's not like it's redstone. It's not used for anything crazy. And the XP from Slimer is not even that good. And the slime bullets itself, if you guys don't use redstone, is basically worthless. So now we're on to the next. We're on to the next. We now have the zombie piglin, or the aka the piglin now, because the piglets have been changed. It's the piglin. You know, okay, so this is gonna be piglin slash zombie pigman. But it's a staple of Flat Worlds. It's true, it's a staple of Flat Worlds, but who plays Flat World Survival? Nobody. And the only time I ever played Flat Worlds was to build or to troll. So definitely got to keep it in the good tier. So we have the piglin slash zombie pigman. I'm gonna do both. I'm gonna kind of do it as slash both before the Nether update. So this mob is goated, and is honestly the only mob that the Nether had for a long time. But it was trash. The only thing this mob was ever used for was a gold farm, and who needs gold? The XP was good, but the gold was trash. No one uses gold in Minecraft. Gold isn't used for anything. But it is iconic, though. It is an iconic mob. I think the zombie piglin isn't as good as a zombie, but I think it is better than the I rather have the zombie piglin than the chicken and the slime. But I would not have it more than the zombie. The zombie is just because the zombie piglin is basically a worse zombie because it has a sword, and zombies already have swords. Zombies already have swords, so it's just a crappy zombie in another dimension with nothing unique about it other than the ingots that you get. You know, the little nuggets. Now we're to the cave spider, bro. I love the cave spider. I already said this before when I ranked the spider at kinda bad, bro. But brutes, we're not at brutes yet. The brutes aren't here. Oh, the brutes aren't even here regardless. No, no, they are here. They are here. We're not at the brutes yet. We're not at the brutes, Phantom. So we have the cave spider, bro. I love the cave spider, bro. I hate the spider, but I love the cave spider. I hate that you have to have a mob spawner for them to spawn. I don't know if that's because Minecraft doesn't know how to actually spawn cave spiders, or they can't naturally give a spawning radius for them, like the slime. So I never kind of understood on why there was a spawner in the mineshaft just for the cave spider. Why couldn't they just make cave spiders spawn in caves? That would have made them better. I like the mob. It doesn't have any good drop, and the XP farm is honestly trash. Cave spider spawners in the grinders are absolutely trash, but the mob is actually good. I like cave spiders, not as much as slimes, but I think cave spiders are a good mob. I think they fit Minecraft much better than the regular spiders do. Okay, what do we have next up? The Enderman. Bro, Minecraft would never be the same without the Enderman. That's like taking the Ender Dragon out of Minecraft, bro. It's just not Minecraft, dude. I hate them, but for what makes them good, they're annoying. Yeah, they definitely annoy you out. They definitely annoy you. The cave spiders definitely annoy you, but I still think they're a better mob than the spider. They just are. The Enderman, though. The Endermen are just absolutely spectacular, bro. The uniqueness of the Enderman and the lore from Slenderman just makes this mob have an aura like no other mob. Not only is it the best XP source in the game, it's the best grinder in the game. It's the pearls, although they're not really useful. That's the saddest loot pool about it, because Endermen don't have the best loot pool. If you think about it, all they give you is pearls and XP. So XP wise, it is the best mob for XP. And honestly, the farm to make them isn't that difficult, although it's endgame. Minecraft would not be the same with this mob, and I think that this mob, although I don't think it's the best mob in the game, I think it is far better than any mob we've seen so far, and is better designed. It is more special than even the skeleton, which is portrayed in every single game, and even better than the creeper. But I'm not sure if it's the best mob in the game. We're not quite there yet. It might move up there, but I think it is an excellent mob. It is an excellent mob. Quite the opposite, we have the silverfish, bro. This mob gives no drops. This mob is horrible in XP. There's literally one spawner per stronghold. I don't even know how you make an XP farm with silverfish, but it is by far the worst mob I've ever seen. I don't know why this game has silverfish. It makes no sense. They would have been better if they just had ants. If they just had ants, and you would go into the stronghold and you would just get bit by ants. Because the silverfish makes no sense. The fact that they come out of blocks, the fact that they make a spawner, they don't even spawn in the stronghold. They just come out of blocks that were pre-generated in the stronghold, and then they have a spawner. So like that's what I don't understand is a lot of these mobs, they don't even spawn with a certain chunk. They just spawn because there's a spawner or like there's a block that has one in it. It's like Mojang is very lazy on implementing spawning rules for these mobs. So I'm gonna have to say silverfish is the worst mob so far in the game. In the game. No one likes silverfish, and if they removed silverfish, I would not bat an eye. I would not care. I do not care about the silverfish. It is so trash. I'm not gonna lie. It is lazy, and it doesn't even make sense because you think about the Endermite, and I don't even want to talk about the Endermite yet because we're not there yet. But you talk about the end because the stronghold in the end is all kind of one update. It's like, why make that mob? Like, why? It's not even cohesive. It doesn't even make sense. The Endermite makes more sense to have spawn in the stronghold than the silverfish. But besides it being the worst mob in the game so far, we have the squid. I like this mob. I like this mob a lot. If we think pre-ocean update, right? Pre-bountiful update. Not bountiful. Pre-aquatic update. The squid was the only thing that was ever in the water. Without the squid, Minecraft water would be dead. There would be no point to even go in the water because nothing lived in the water. I like the squid. And I like the way that Minecraft handles the squid. It's basic, it makes no sense. You never kill it, it's just an eye candy. It's just, look at the squid, he's swimming in the ocean. And there's something wholesome about that. There's some closure about making a house near the water and just seeing a squid just pop up to the surface and then just go back down all by himself. So honestly, I think the squid is a good mob. Actually, I think the squid is a better mob than the slime. Matter of fact, I think the squid is a better mob than the zombie piglin. I think that's a fair spot to put the mob. It is better than a zombie piglin, a chicken, and a slime, and definitely the cave spider, but definitely not better than the zombie. Then we have the dog, but is this the wolf or is this just the dog? Is there a wolf separately? Okay, so this is the wolf slash dog. Honestly, Minecraft would never be the same if you couldn't have a dog. I'm not gonna say about the cat, and I'm a cat person, but I'm not gonna say anything about the cat yet because we're not there. But the dog is literally, I'm sorry, is the best mob in the game, even better than the cow. If we didn't have dogs in the game, I would not play Minecraft. There's something about playing solo Minecraft, being alone in your world, not knowing what is to come. You're going in dark caves, you're going on far off adventures, going in these temples, going in these dimensions, and you go all alone. Unless you kill a couple skeletons or find a couple bones and you find a little wolf in the forest. You befriend him and he sticks by your side, fighting everything but a creeper till the day he dies. There's something so beautiful, bro, about the wolf and about the dog that honestly, it just shows you how even in a solo world that you're not alone. And there's something so beautiful about that, and Minecraft really wouldn't be the same without it. So again, the wolf slash dog is the best mob in the game, and it would never be the same without it. Next up, we have the blaze. Honestly, it is a unique. I'm assuming that they were like trying to make a demon out of this. Like this was supposed to be like a hellish creature, you know, another hellish creature. I like the blaze a lot. I like the blaze a ton. I like how it functions. I like the AI. I like how it flies. I like its particle effects, and I like how it spawns because it spawns naturally, right? It actually spawns naturally in the stronghold, but it also spawns with a spawner, which is cool because you can farm the blaze. Now the blaze rods are not that useful, but they're useful for making potions and they're useful for making the brewing stands. So it is multi-purpose and it is high XP. So and it is a unique mob for sure. And it makes the whole going to the stronghold like it puts a mob that you have to kill, which there's only a few mobs that you ever have to kill the dragon, and one of them's gonna be the Enderman, and one of them's gonna be the Blaze. So it's almost like the one of the most important mobs to the progression of early game Minecraft. That's very like it. Nothing could. If you made a Wither skeleton drop a Blaze, Minecraft wouldn't hit the same. So I'm gonna have to put the Blaze as an excellent mob. Is it better than the sheep? I don't think so. No, I don't think so. I think that the Blaze is an excellent mob, but do I think it's better than the zombie? I don't think so though. That's the problem. You know what? The zombie is an excellent mob, and I'm gonna bring him down to good, because I think the zombie is still better of a mob in design than the Blaze. But the Blaze is definitely better than the mobs previously listed for sure. It's a good mob. I don't know if it's excellent, but it's a really solid mob. It's a really solid mob. Then we have the Ender Dragon. I'm not gonna even lie. The Ender Dragon is good, but the Ender Dragon isn't that crazy. For some reason, something about Minecraft makes me feel like the Ender Dragon, there should have never been an Ender Dragon, because there should have never been an end of Minecraft. There's so many problems with how Minecraft handled the Ender Dragon, and I think the main fault that Minecraft fell into, which is why people have a 2-week Minecraft phase or why people get tired of their survival world, is because the end credits. Why does Minecraft have an end? Why do they roll end credits? Why do they make you feel like there's some goal to Minecraft? There should always be a goal in any world, but you decide that goal. By Minecraft enabling credits after you kill the Ender Dragon, it's almost like if you didn't do something before the Ender Dragon, it doesn't matter because you beat the game. You finished the main goal. So everything else you do is pointless to the game, right? Because it's not an accomplishment that they see as the end, but the Ender Dragon is, which is a very short fight, mind you. They did it better when they added the cages, but it's still not that good. The Bedrock version is definitely better, but I think how they handled the end was very sad. And even in the end update when they added end cities, they didn't help it either. It honestly was a nothing update. The combat update was a nothing update. I'm gonna have to put this, honestly, it sounds so dumb, but I put it behind the Ender Dragon. I mean, I put it behind the skeleton. I still think it's better than the sheep, and I still think it's better than everything before because it's one of the most unique mobs in the game, and it's a very much Minecraft's final boss. But I still would rather have skeletons in the game than have the Ender Dragon. If you take out the Ender Dragon and you kept skeletons, I would still be more happy than if you took out skeletons and you kept the Ender Dragon. You think chicken's too low, Phantom? Nah, I think chickens are fine. I think chickens are fine. I like chickens a lot. And I know you didn't hear why we put it at good, but I think chickens are good. I think where they're at is fine. I would not say that they're better than the mobs, in front of it, for sure. There's no way. There's too many mobs. There's too many mobs to come up. So now we have the Magma Cube. This mob, I don't even have to explain it, bro. This mob is worse than mid. Nah, is it worse than the spider? I'm gonna say it's worse than the spider. And it's funny because it's such a parallel from the slime. It's like you see the slime and there's something that brings you, although it's an enemy, when you see the slime, you kind of feel at peace. You kind of feel like he's a friend, although you might kill him. He's a friend. But then you see the Magma Cube and you're like, what is this lazy garbage? He looks dumb. He drops magma cream. He breaks up into multiple slime, which the slime does, but it makes no sense because you killing the little slime doesn't even give you anything, like at all. There's no like extra drop. It's just magma cream, which is one of the worst drops in the game. Like who cares about potion crafting? Like it being only potion like used for potions makes it so specific because no one really uses potions, bro. Like, I'm sorry, Minecraft. I'm sorry, Mojang. I'm sorry, Microsoft. No one uses potions. The only reason you use potions is very specific. It's either you're too lazy to make a beacon or you want like night vision. That's the only reason. Like, you don't need strength. You on solo, you don't need anything that that a magma cube would give you that you can't get by other means. And it's literally worse than the spider because first it's only found in the nether, which, okay, that's fine. But here's the problem. It's not even found in most biomes. Now it's only found in like basalt cities. And it's one of the worst places it could spawn because that place, if you get tapped even once, you're falling in lava. And you're not just falling in a thing of lava, you're falling in like a tube of lava, so you can't even escape. It just doesn't make sense. It's just bad game design. And they used to spawn near the fortresses and they would just knock you off. They would just knock you off, like, and then you would just fall in lava. Like, it would not make sense. It would not make sense. That mob is trash. Then we get to one of the most beautiful mobs in the game. And guys, don't forget, the cow is currently the best mob in the game besides the wolf and dog. We get to the mushroom cow. The mushroom cow is what mobs should have been when mobs were brought to Minecraft. The fact that the next update we're getting this spring for Minecraft is mob variants is an utter joke. You're telling me, for a game 10 plus years in development, the most sold game, the most popular game of the century, 10 years later, finally gets a different color chicken? They would add goats, they would add camels, they would add glow squid before they would give mob variants that were passive that you found in normal vanilla Minecraft. Only one mob was not treated like that. And you know who that was? That was my man, the cow. And my cow had a very best friend, and his name was the mushroom cow, bro. And he is goated. He is goated. He is goated, just like my brother, the cow. Nothing is more useful than not a cow farm, bro. A mushroom cow farm. Oh my gosh. Bro, the stew, although it's dumb to make bulls and eat it, it's even more multi-purpose. You can clip the cow. You can take the mushrooms off. You can milk the cow. You can get leather from the cow. You can get steak, one of the best foods in the game, from the cow. You can farm it for XP. Bro, it is a beautiful design. And it's not just a reskin. It literally has mushrooms growing on its back. It's peak Minecraft. This is what Minecraft should have been. It almost looks like a mod. You look at the regular mushroom cow compared to the regular cow, and you're like, bro, this guy has full black eyes. He looks like a demon, bro. And not only that, he spawns on one of the most rare, and it's funny because as Minecraft develops even more biomes, he becomes even more and more and more rare. I remember when I used to play Legacy Xbox or Legacy, PlayStation, and even old Java, like 1.6, biomes weren't as plentiful, so you would find mushroom islands often. But now this game has, so many biomes that I don't remember the last time I've seen a mushroom biome in Minecraft. I think it had to be over 5 years ago, and I've been playing Minecraft quite often. In every single survival world, I never even spawn near an island that has a mushroom cow. It is almost as rare as like very, very, very to the side mobs like a skeleton, like a zombie skeleton, skeleton horse, or a zombie horse, or something like that. Something you would just really never see. It's basically, it has that aura. So I think it's definitely the best mob. Then we have the snowman. I love the snowman. There's something wholesome about building your own mob, and I'm gonna get to the iron golem. Obviously, it's coming up very soon. I'm gonna get to that soon. But I have the snow golem. The fact that you can't find this mob in the game, and if you don't watch the internet and you just bought a copy of Legacy Minecraft, you might never know that the snow golem is a thing in the whole entire game. Kind of like the Jeb sheep, you would never know it's even a thing, and it's an actual functional mob that actually fights other mobs. It's kind of weird. It's like a semi-passive, semi-friend mob. It's really cool and it's very weak, but it's like it's crazy because it almost makes you feel like a child when you make a snowman. It's very much like the real world, and it's nothing else in Minecraft that's kind of like that. Nothing in Minecraft really brings the real world into the game like the snowman. And I'm gonna have to give the snowman because of that. I'm gonna have to give the snowman in the excellent tier. It's not like that creative or that unique, but it's definitely an excellent mob, and I think it's even better because you don't ever have them unless you build them. And there's not ever really a reason to build them. But when you have them around your house, I remember playing Minecraft when I was a kid, and I would have like this little cage in the back of my house, and I would have like 10 snowmen, and they would just be fighting because I'm pretty sure if a snowman hits another snowman, they just start brawling it out, and I would walk back there and there would just be snowballs all over the floor and dead snowmen. So like they're a fun mob. I remember snowmen kind of remind me of like when I used to build creative flat worlds, and I used to put a wall of snowmen and then put like 5 mobs, and then I'd break all the blocks and let them battle and see like how can 50 snowmen kill 7 zombies. Like I would watch that every single time. So I think it is one of the better mobs in the game. Then we have the villager. This is kind of like the wolf slash the dog. It's like your friend, but they never really want to be your friend. It's funny. Like they'll run away from you. They get mad at you when you take their bed. Like they're very ungrateful. You steal their crops. Like they do a good job at like being friendly, but then they're also like kind of semi-annoyed with you. So I would have to give the villagers, other than they have like their cool generated structure that you could sleep in the early game, I would say like what Minecraft would be without the villagers, it definitely wouldn't be the same. I wouldn't call it excellent mob. I think the villagers definitely still need work. Even after the village updates where they've made better villagers, I just think how the villagers interact with you is very, very plain. I'd say it's a good mob. I would rather have villagers than anything before it. But I think everything after it, I think the snowman's is pushing a little bit, but I think I really like the uniqueness of the snowman more than I like the villagers. And the villager trading is really good, and honestly, I think they're a really good mob. Actually, you know what? Yeah, no. I have to bring the villager before in front of the snowman, because the villagers are so versatile. You can make iron golem farms with them. Like, we can't forget one of the best late game farms for any survival world that you want to build crazy stuff. You need iron, and because of that, if it wasn't for the village, you would never have the iron golem. So the villager is like very, very iconic. In early Minecraft, that would be like your only friend other than the dog, and you could trade with them, which is so cool. Obviously, they have the emerald. Without the villagers, the emerald would cease to have a function. In Minecraft, the emerald doesn't do anything other than basically trade. Then we have the cat. I like the ocelot before I like the cat. And I think I don't like the cat. I like the cat and I don't like the cat. I'm okay with the cat not fighting mobs. I don't think they could ever make the cat fight mobs like the fox fights stuff. Like the fox would kill a chicken or something. I don't think the cat should do that. I like that the cat is very passive. But there's something about the cat which I don't like, and I think it's the AI. Like, the movement of the cat is very sporadic. It kind of flings around and like darts and stuff. It's kind of like I feel like the ocelot AI is good because it's like a wild animal, but they basically use that same AI for your pet. So as you're in your house with your pet, your cat just dashes everywhere, which is like real life, but it's like not normal compared to the dog, which also dashes but moves more like a cow, So I would have to give the cat, honestly, it's a good mob, but I can go without it more. I could go without it, not as much as the cave spider, but I would rather have a slime more than the cat. Honestly, it's a good mob. It's not a mid mob, but it's nothing too remarkable. I like the ocelots even more than the cats. Then we have, guys, the iron golem. Bro, if they added an iron golem boss, this game would be so much better. And it's funny because they added the warden, but the warden just doesn't hit. I don't know about the warden, it just don't hit. Maybe it's because he's slow. Maybe it's because he's OP. I don't even know what the point of the Warden is. If the end of the game is the Ender Dragon, why is the Warden 5 times stronger than the Ender Dragon? Like, why does he one-tap you with full armor, but the Ender Dragon does no damage unless he freaking flies you up 3,000 feet, but then you're only taking damage from fall damage? It doesn't even make sense. The Iron Golem is one of the most unique mobs, not just because of how he looks, because it's a very common trope of an iron beast, but how he interacts with the villagers, how he's basically the peacemaker. Like, if you damage the villagers, he's going to kill you in the early game. He's going to two-shot you. He's going to defend the village more than you're going to defend the village. And we cannot forget about the end game Iron Farm. The Iron Farm is spectacular. I love it. And I remember the day that this mob came out. I think it was the time when Jungles came out. Or it was on Legacy Xbox, so I think it was like the Jungles and the Iron Golems. But I don't know if you could craft the Iron Golems yet, but you could find them in the village. It was one or the other, or it was both. But when they came out, I think it was like 1.4. I'm not sure. But when it came to my old Xbox 360 and the Iron Golem update came out, I immediately went to a swamp and I made 2 Iron Golems to defend my little house. And I named them. I named one Billy, and I'm pretty sure I didn't have another name tag for the other one. And in that same seed, I was in a jungle temple, and that's how I got the name tag. This mob is what Minecraft should be doing. It's a different model. It's almost like a custom model. You see the Iron Golem, it doesn't look like any other mob in the game. It's very unique, kind of like the Blaze. They should make more mobs like that. And it's multifunctional. It could be your best friend. You can make it. It could defend the village. You could farm it. It's just one of the best mobs in the game. There's no doubt about it. There's no contesting it. Then we have the Ocelot. The wild cat. I love this. I love this animal. This is the definition of if before you can make them cats. I'm sure you can make them cats in the same update, but from what I recall, you couldn't have cats, but there was ocelots, right? And so you could feed it and it would show hearts, but you would never make it a cat. That's what I remember. Maybe it's false. Maybe I'm remembering wrong. But the ocelot is the definition of unique biome mobs that really serve no purpose other than to give you the atmospheric, like, that you're on an adventure and you're seeing new things. Because sometimes you're in like the plains biome and you see all the mobs and you're like, what's the point of adventuring? Because all the mobs are the same, basically. And then you have the ocelot, which is what mobs should be. They should be making more biome-specific mobs, but not making it so you have to go to new biomes to see mobs, but just that every biome has so many mobs that you can settle down anywhere and feel like you still have a good variety of mobs around. I have to give this mob in the good mob tier list, and I'd still rather have cave spiders more than ocelots, but I do think it's a good mob. Now the bat. Guys, the bat is not looking too good. I'm sorry, guys. The bat is one of the worst mobs in the game. And it's sad because I think birds, as beautiful as birds would be in the game, it would kind of be close to the worst mob in the game, even if they were bats. You know, I used to play a lot of mod packs with birds and stuff, and it made me feel like it was cool, but it was so unnecessary. And that's exactly how I feel about the bat. It's so cool having the bat, like, fly in a cave, but if it didn't exist, it didn't really matter. You get nothing from the bat. It adds no ambiance, and they do nothing. If the bat bit you, if the bat would hang from the ceiling and, like, it would be in packs, like a bat would spawn with, like, 5 bats hanging from the ceiling and they'd come down and peck you and do, like, silverfish damage, maybe they would be a little cooler and they had a cool drop, but they don't. And because of that, there's no reason that the bat should be in the game. It drops nothing. It's hardly atmospheric. They spawn very rarely, and there's just no point. It's a good model, but it just there's just no point of it. Then we have the witch, something very similar to the bat. You know, I like the witch, and I think I think it adds a lot of lore to the Minecraft villager, pillager, like the whole little thing they got going on with these villager variants. And I think that the witch's move pool is really good. I think it's cool that a mob can heal itself. I think it's cool that a mob can throw different potions at you like the witch can. I just think how the witches spawn, like the witches just need a revamp. I think the witches, and it's not because of the swamp biome. That's not the problem with the witches. The witches just need. Why am I hearing an ad?
I've got the latest power recliners, modular.
I'm just gonna mute the ad until it's done. Let me get back to it. So yeah, the witch. Honestly, all it needs is like a partner with the witch. Like if the witch would just spawn, if the witch would just spawn with like something on the side. You know what I mean? Like if the witch spawned, but then it had like a little like something on the side, like a little like think about how like I guess you see what could I say? Okay, perfect. The Vex and the Evoker, how the Evoker kind of summons the I think I'm thinking of the right Illager, right? The Evoker summons these little Vexes, these little like flying fairy things with swords. The Witch kind of needs some type of summoning. If it could summon baby skeletons or something unique, that would just bring the Witch to the next level. You know, just a Witch spamming you with damage potions or poison potions, just it's cool, but it's just not there in the specialty of it. Like it could definitely just go one step more and just be that much better. But until then, I'm okay with not even having the witches. So honestly, I think the witches are a mid mob. It sounds crazy, but they are. They're not that useful. The farms are pretty good if you want redstone, and the drop pool is actually one of the biggest drop pools in the game. And I like that you can actually get most of the potions that it uses. But other than that, like it's a rare mob. It does a lot of damage, like surprisingly because of the potion effects. But it's just lackluster. I don't know. It just kind of feels it's just spamming potions. It doesn't really do anything. Kind of like how like the illagers are like the more refined, villager variants. But the witches like it feels very dated. That's for sure. Let me put back the music. But yeah, the villagers, the witch variant is definitely dated. Then we have the wither. I like the wither. And although the model is kind of boring because it's basically 3 withered skeleton skulls with like a little, like I don't even know what that is, like a rib cage on like a worm, like a skeleton spine. I like the wither, and I like the drop being the star, and I do think it's a challenge. But the fact that you can spawn it in a cave and kill it in like 3 hits with smite and strength potions makes it like not even remotely as close to difficult as the Ender Dragon, which is funny because some people say that the Wither is harder on Bedrock or it is harder just in general, but it's not. Just put it in a cave with some strength potions, bro, and like it's like 4 tap, bro. It's like 4 tap, and it's like I don't know. I feel like the Wither for it being like the Nether boss doesn't really have aura to it. And I think it's because the Nether really doesn't define itself with certain mobs. Because the mobs are all so different. Like they have the Blaze, they have the Magma Cube, they have the Wither Skeleton, they have the Piglins, and then they have the Wither. It's like it's all different type of mobs. You think of the Ender Dragon and you have the Ender Man and the Ender Mite. Although it's not that variety, like there's not that much variety, there feels like it's, and even the Shulker, it feels very like End, you know what I mean? But the mobs in the Nether don't really feel like it's like, oh, this is the Wither boss, you know what I mean? Like this is like all this stuff kind of comes up to this very top-notch person. It's kind of like very lackluster, you know? Even the Ghast is bigger than the Wither. I think if the Wither was the size of the Ghast, that would be insane. It would definitely take away from the Dragon, but I think that would actually be crazy. I'm going to say the Wither. I like the Wither, and I think it's a unique mob. I like the Wither probably more than I like most of these. I would say it's a good mob. I would say it's probably the best of the good mobs. But again, it's not that unique for a boss, but for a Minecraft mob, it is pretty cool. And honestly, the beacons are one of the best things you can get in the game. So it's definitely something that's going to keep it up in the list because of just the loot table. Now we have the Wither Skeleton. I like the Wither Skeleton, and I think unique effects getting attacked is where Minecraft does its best. The Stray, the Drowned, the Husk, those variants or mobs are just better versions of their predecessors because they just give you effects. They're basically buffed vanilla mobs, and there's nothing more buffed than, you think that the skeletons were OP. There's nothing worse than walking in a fortress and you turn your back and a wither skeleton is on your butt. Dude, you know it's GG's, bro. Just give him the diamonds, bro. It's over. You're done. That wither effect is insane. This is one of the best mobs in the game. I'd say it's right next to the skeleton, which is funny because it's very similar to the skeleton. But I think the fact that it has a sword, and it's so weird because it's even more unique than the zombie, because the wither skeletons spawn in packs, they have a special effect, they're fast, and they're not 2 blocks tall, they're actually like 2.5, which is really unique because you can farm them because of that, and you can actually defend yourself easier because of that. And let's not forget that they have a bigger loot pool. They can drop bones, they can drop swords, they can drop wither skeleton skulls, which are used for more and more beacons. And they are required for a beacon, so it's something you're going to have to farm. And they have a very rare loot pool, which is not common for a lot of these mobs. So I would say, do I like it more than the Ender Dragon? Probably not, but do I like it more than the rest? Definitely so. Then we have the zombie villager. I have a gripe. I have something to pick with you, bro. The zombie villager is a bad mob. It's a bad mob through and through. The only point of the zombie villager is to make it seem like the world is more active than it really is. Because when any other mob kills a villager, it just dies. But if a zombie kills a villager, it turns into a zombie villager. And then when that zombie villager dies, he just dies. So he's just gonna die. So why transform him into a zombie? It doesn't really make sense, because when you die, you don't turn into a zombie. And I think you're very similar to the villagers, so it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't add anything to the game. And the fact that you have to use a golden apple and a potion just to make him turn into a villager, although it's useful if you're playing like a survival island or something, you know, when it came to the game, it wasn't, because villager trading was trash. Is it worse than the spider? No. It's because at the end of the day, it is a variant of a zombie, so it's respectable. But the fact that there's no purpose to it, and the drop pool is not any different, you know what would be really cool? Would be really unique, which they should add, which might be broken. But if zombie villagers could drop an emerald, dude, that would make zombie villagers that much better. Because if you could make a zombie farm, the only reason that people say skeleton farms are better than zombies is because skeletons can drop like 3 or more items. They could drop their arrows, they could drop their bones, they could drop their bows, including all of the enchantments and their armor. Versus zombies, they don't have such a big pool. Now, if zombie villagers could drop emeralds, that's changing the story. If you can get zombie villagers in your mob grinder from a spawner, now you're getting that occasional emerald, which could really be feeding your villager trading, which could really help out if you're not doing raid farms. That could bring it up there, but it's not quite there. That's something that they should probably look into. I think that would be a really cool mechanic. Not killing villagers for emeralds, because we don't want to encourage killing villagers, but the zombie villagers, hey, let them drop an emerald. Let it be 1 in 50 or 1 in 100 chance, and that could be interesting. Then we have, okay, this is where we're going to go pretty quick. We have 5 rideable mobs. I'm going to do this quick. The donkey is mid. The horse, is this the horse? Or is this the mule? Which one is this? They all kind of look the same. I'm going to say this is the horse. The horse is a good mob. The horse is better than most of these. I'm not going to say it's better than the chicken, but the horse is definitely useful. I'd definitely take the horse over all of those. The mule is just as bad as the donkey. It's actually worse than the donkey because you have to make this thing. The skeleton horse and the skeleton zombie, they literally make no sense, and they're cool, but other than that, they're cool. There's no difference. You don't even find them. I mean, you could find the skeleton horses, but there's nothing unique about these horses. So it's easy. Those variants are mid. The horse is cool. That's it. Done. How do we feel about the Elder Guardian? Bro. Dude, the Elder Guardian is trash, dude. I don't want to say it's worse. No. Is it worse than the Ghast? Is it really worse than the Ghast? I'm not sure if it is. It might be better than the magma cube and the gas, but it's pretty freaking bad. I'm not gonna lie. There's no reason to ever kill the Elder Guardian other than you just want the sponge. And if you want the sponge, really ask yourself, what are you doing with water? What are you wasting your time with that you need those sponges? You could still break the sponges with the mining fatigue. Just break 1 or 2. Why do you need all of the sponges in the monument? What are you doing? What are you wasting your time that you're draining the ocean? What are you doing, bro? It makes no sense. Give that mob a special drop. Give that mob a scuba diving ore. Give it a special item that it can drop. Kind of give it like an elytra variant. You know, it's not a difficult mob, but give it something cool. Like give it, you know, something to make your boat, like, you know, be able to go underwater or something. I don't know. Make it something cool. But definitely, it is one of the worst mobs in the game. The Endermite, trash. Honestly, the Endermite is worse than even the Silverfish, because you can't even properly farm this. If it wasn't for the Endermite, you wouldn't be able to make modern day Ender farms like that good. Other than that, there serves no purpose. The only thing that it does is when you're using pearls or Enderman's teleporting, I think that's how it works. You'll spawn in one and it will just bite you, and then you'll just smack it, and that's the end of it. It's literally worse than the bat, because at least the bat gives ambiance, bro. The Endermite looks like a rock. It looks like a rock. What's up, Brown? How am I? Oh, I'm doing good, Brown. How you doing, bro? We're doing the mob tier list so far. We're doing the mob tier list, and we're getting pretty far. We're getting pretty far, bro. I'm doing good though. So now we have what is this? The Guardian. I like the Guardian. I actually like the Guardian much more than I like this, like much more than the big thing. I forget what it's called already. The boss. I forget what it's called. The Guardians. I like the Guardians. I think that the Guardians are a great mob, and I like how they operate. I just wish that they would just swim in the ocean regularly. I think the ocean needs more mobs in the water other than the drowned. And I would say the Guardian is a mid mob, but it's better than most mobs that are in the mid zone. You know, I wouldn't say it's better than the Cape Spider or the Ocelot or even the Slime, but I would definitely say it's even better than the Pig or the Witch. You know, I think that the Guardian is more unique than the Witch. It's crazy to say that, but it literally is. Then we have the Rabbit. Oh man, the Rabbit. I like the Rabbit, but I'm gonna be honest, it's just as useless as every other mob. I hate to say it's the worst, so I'm gonna bring it to the kind of bad area. I like the Rabbit, and it does give ambiance. I'd say it's still better than the Magma Cube and the Ghast, but it's not much better. It's not much better, and it's not much better than the Guardian Boss, than the Elder Guardian. It's just not. It's just the loophole's too small, you know. It just makes no sense. Like, you're not gonna kill them for food. They don't really do anything, and there's variants, but it's like, I don't know. It's just a very boring mob. That just shows me that, like, we always ask for more mobs, like, to be in the overworld, but then when we get mobs like the Rabbit, it kind of feels like it's pointless. You know, you kind of want to give them a purpose too. We have the Shulker Box. You know, I don't even know why the Shulker Box is a mob when it's a box. It kind of reminds me of Box Trolls. I don't know if you guys ever watched the movie Box Trolls. It's basically like these little goblin-looking dudes, these little trolls, literally living in a box. They have a box, like a cereal box around them as their clothes, and they basically tuck inside them. That's basically what the Shulker Box is. I don't know why the Shulker Box is. And the fact that you go to end cities and that's all you get is very, very shameful, and it really shows how lazy, this is not to like discredit Minecraft, but how lazy they are when they're making big updates and they have like these fundamental things that sound cool, like the end or combat update, let's give elytras out, and then they give one of the worst mobs in the game to guard that elytra. You can go through you can go through an end city faster than you can go through basically anything else in the game, because they make it easy for you. It's not even like the room has no way to go up and you have to build up and you could just fall instantly. They give you ladders and stairs and literally bridges to get there with nothing else other than a little box shooting a little thing at you that just makes you float. It doesn't even do damage to you. You only take damage when you fall. So it's honestly worse than everything else in the game. It just is. It is really bad. It's not close to the bat, and it is functional. Let's not lie, shulker boxes are useful, but just because it has you know, an item behind it that you need to kill it just to get the item doesn't mean that the mob is a good mob. And honestly, I would rather have gas in the game than have the shulker box. If you could just use the shulker shells and you can get them a different way, let's say they were a drop from like an enderman or like a rare drop from like, you know, something else in the end, maybe like the endermite could drop one, I would rather do that than fight a box, smack it while it's selflessly hiding in a box, and then take a shell and make a box. It doesn't even make sense. It doesn't make sense. Then we have the husk. Guys, I already said I like the husk. I like the husk. I think the husk is a better zombie. I think the husk and the stray is better variants of their counterparts because they're basically the same thing with just better effects. They're more fine-tuned. They're more like biome specific. They have very much aura, and they're very unique in their own way. Not as a separate mob, but as a variant, they are unique. Then we have the polar bear. Honestly, this mob is mid. Is this mob better than all of the rideable mobs? Yes, but is it better than the witch? Definitely not. I like the polar bear, and I think that it's like its passive and non-passive effect is cool. And I like that you could find it only in like certain snow areas, and I think that's interesting too. And I really do like the baby, you know, I do like how it protects like the baby polar bear, but it's just like nothing, like you don't kill it, you don't farm it, you kind of just see it. And I don't think you should kill it. Like I don't think they should give a cool mob drop. I think they should just give something unique to the polar bear. I think they should, all they need to do is like make it be able to do something. You know, if you can give it something, kind of give it like a fox ability. Make it be able to like dig, or like make it be able to, you know, fight off, you know, nearby mobs. So like you can kind of keep a polar bear. He won't stay, but if he's like kind of like in a certain area, he can kind of defend your area, kind of like a snow golem. And I think that would be really interesting. Then the stray. I like the stray. Not as much as the skeleton, actually. Actually, not even as much as the zombie, but I do like the stray. And I like the stray less than the villager, but I do like the stray a lot. Actually, I don't like the husk as much as the villager either, but I think they're both excellent mobs. They're kind of unnecessary, but they're kind of like they should be in the game. When they first made the game, they should have already had those variants in the game. Then we have like the Illager guys. Now, I'm not sure who does what in this Illager parade, so I'm going to kind of go through these quickly. I think this is the Evoker, which is one of the most unique monsters in the game, and I think it's a good mob, and I think it's actually better than most mobs, but I wouldn't say it's better than the slime. Then we have the camel, one of the worst animals in the game. I still think it's more unique than the rideable animals, but it's not more unique than the polar bear. I would rather have a polar bear than this. There's one reason why I don't think this polar bear is good. Yo, Milky, how you doing, bro? It's good to see you here. It's good to see you here. Good to see you. How you doing, man? So there's one bad thing that I don't like about the camel, and I think that's because of the wandering trader. He always leaves his camels. They always disconnect, and he leaves them, and they spit at me, and they're annoying, and I don't like them. And they're useless. They're just useless. It's more of an atmospheric mob. I know they haven't been here for a bit. Some stuff going on right now. I'll start playing in a few days. Hey, bro, take your time, man. It's good to have you here, Milky. It's good to have you. Don't worry about it, man. Don't worry about it, man. We're always here. We're always here. It's good to see you. It's good to see you around. I hope everything's going okay. Then we have the little flying thing. What's that flying thing called? Not the evoker. It's what's the little flying dude? The Volks? It's something. I don't know what this little dude is, but he spawns from the evoker dude. It's a good mob, but it's a mid mob. It's cool because it almost goes with him, so I want to say it's with him, but the mob itself is very mid. It's actually worse than the Guardian. It's actually worse than the Witch. But I like that how it kind of phases through walls is really cool. Is really cool. Wait a minute. Is it better than the spider? It is. It is better than the spider. The reason it's better than the spider is only because it's unique in how it moves. Nothing else could phase through blocks, so I'm gonna have to give it better than the spider and the zombie villager. Then we have the Illager. The Illager is actually a good mob. It's not better than most, but it's actually better. I'd say it's probably actually better. I have more fun fighting an Illager than I do even the... you know, it's funny because I like the Illager even more than the Evoker. because there's how the villagers kind of chase you around with their crossbows and their axes is more fun than how an evoker kind of just summons these little flying little things, the little flying demons. And it's actually more fun to fight than basically all the mobs in the good tier. But I don't think it's better than the excellent mobs for sure. I don't even think it deserves excellent at all. Okay, then we have the first bird. Bro, the bird, it's weird because it's such a counter to the bunny and the bat, which is one of the most useless mobs in the game. The bird is actually a really good mob. I think the bird gives excellent atmosphere. I think the bird is just under, I'd probably say, under the villager. There's no real point to the bird, but these birds can dance with the music discs, which make it more fun. It just makes it exciting. And the birds are like, not just birds itself, but the parrot is like a so specific mob, kind of like the ocelot to the jungle, but then it has a function that's so obscure. Excuse me, it's so obscure. It's like the ocelot runs away, you try to give it fish, it used to turn into a cat, or it turns into a cat, might have not before. But the parrot, it follows you, lands on your shoulder, and if you put a jukebox near it, it starts to dance. That is so unique. No other mob really acts like that. So I have to keep it in the excellent tier list. Would the game be the same without it? Probably, but does it add so much into the depth for what makes Minecraft mobs special? Of course, of course. How do we feel about the fish? Honestly, and I'm gonna do all the fish at once. I know there's a few mobs between them. Actually, I'll do it all kind of together. The fish itself, where's the fish? We'll do it all. We'll save the fish all together. So we'll do the dolphin. The dolphin's a good mob. I actually like the dolphin more than most mobs. I'm gonna keep it kind of behind the. Actually, yeah, no, I do like this. I do like the squid more than I like the dolphin. Are you saying how? Oh no, it's annoying. Zombie villager and shulker should be good. Excellent for me. The reason that the zombie villager isn't that good is because it's not a unique design. It has no new drop pool. It kills a villager then transforms him. So it doesn't even just kill your villager. You don't turn into a zombie you don't turn into a zombie when you die. It makes no sense, and it's just lazy. That's just how I see it. And the only mechanic for a zombie villager, like I said again, is just a golden apple and transforming it back to a villager, which is a waste of time. And the shulkers are one of the most lazy mobs ever created. The fact that there's just a little square in a box just to only keep it from the only mob between the elytra is one of the most lazy. It is one of the most lazy mobs I've ever seen in game design. So it definitely deserves in the bad tier. But then we have the drowned. I think the drowned is not only just a good, but I think it's better than most mobs in the game, in the good section, because it's a refined zombie. But not only is it a refined zombie, but it actually has a multiple equipment pool, kind of like a zombie, because it could use a trident instead of a sword, or it can just attack you like a normal zombie. And the cool thing about this mob is it actually swims, unlike most other mobs. No other mob swims like the character other than the drowned. So it's definitely one of the better mobs in the game. Then we have the Phantom. Gosh, guys, I don't know how I feel about the Phantom. It's almost like the essence of like where mobs could have been when Minecraft was making mobs and they made the Phantom. It's like, whoa, dude, the Phantom kind of looks like a modded mob, kind of like the dolphin. It kind of feels like Mo creatures to me. Like, you see the Phantom and you're like, there's no way this floating thing in the sky. We don't even have birds, but yet I have this dragon-like looking dinosaur bird, whatever it is, pterodactyl flying in the sky. And the mechanic of me not sleeping and chasing me is really cool, but the pool of what it drops is very boring. The Phantom membranes aren't used for anything but the wings, which is funny because the Phantoms could be found only 3 days after playing Minecraft, and they're not farmable. It makes no sense on why there's no other loot pool, and it just doesn't make sense. Like, I don't know what was the point of adding Phantoms if it wasn't going to be in the end? They should have put they should have put Phantoms in the end. It would have made more sense. They could have flooded. What would have been a perfect combo was have a better shulker type variant and having a bunch of Phantoms spawn near the end cities, kind of guarding it like a vulture, you know, like a bunch of birds, like crows. And so as you're flying up, hopelessly flying up from the shulker box, you're getting attacked by these phantoms, and you can't even attack them because you just keep floating up. So you're taking damage. So it's like both of them can work hand in hand. The fact that they spawn in the overworld and drop nothing but phantom membranes mean that they're literally one of the worst mobs in the game. Honestly, they're even worse than the shulker boxes, and only because no one uses phantom membrane. By the time you have an elytra, if you don't already have a mending book for your elytra, you're not playing Minecraft the right way. I'm sorry, you're just not. There is a way to play Minecraft, and it's called the smart way. And if you're not putting mending on your elytra and you're trying to use phantom membrane to save your elytra, you're just not playing the game right. It's not the worst mob in the game. It is a unique mob, but it's just bad. It's just bad. And I'm gonna have to be a little bit brutal with the fish. I love fish. Honestly, I do. In real life, I like fish, and in Minecraft, I like the fish, and I think they're beautiful. But not every fish is beautiful, and that's why I have a problem with the first fish, the cod. The cod and fishing in general is Minecraft's greatest weakness. Every part of Minecraft is kind of fixed to a point where it's enjoyable to do almost every aspect. Farming is fun, exploring is fun, fighting is fun, mob grinding is fun, building is fun, basically everything but fishing. It's funny because all they did for fishing was upgrade the loot pool and add mobs to the actual water. But what makes this even worse is that the fish that are in the water are not even the fish that bite your hook. It's just bubbles that come around your hook and pull on your bobber, while there's 20 fish to the side of you not even looking at your bait. It doesn't make sense. So because of that, I'm sorry, all of these fish are the worst. And honestly, the only reason I'm giving Mr. Nemo and all of the other variants a better thing, I'm actually going to put them in front of everything in front of the bunny, is because the fish that are colorful are beautiful. And the oceans wouldn't be the same without these colorful fish and the coral reefs. And I think that they have a really unique biome, and I like them as a mob that you don't do anything and you just see them. That's fine. But the other fish, I'm sorry, the salmon, all the other fish make no sense. They're boring. No one wants them. I don't understand them. Now we're at the turtle. Guys, we're coming close to the end. And we're going to have some of the coolest mobs come up soon. So I'm excited to see where we're going to put them. We have the turtle. And I like the turtle. I think the turtle is an exact way to show what a mob could be. If you don't want to kill it, what could it be? It's kind of like the horse, because no one really uses horse for travel, but it's beautiful to see a bunch of horses because how many colors are there. Just like it is to go to a beach and see a little family of turtles and see a tiny little speck of a little turtle. It's adorable, just like the dolphins. It's a beautiful mob, but you don't have to kill. It almost feels like a mod. It almost feels like Mo Creatures. It fits the genre of where mobs should be in the future. They just need to add more mobs like this in an update. They can't just add one in an update. They need to add 5. They need to make this game, and again, perfect example of what's coming up, the fox. I love the fox, and I think the fox is one of the most unique passive mobs when it comes to the player. I think when unique mobs interact with the player, it just makes them have so much more depth. And because the fox can actually interact with you very much like how the bird can dance with you, it is one of the best mobs in the game. I don't care if it's just hunting by itself like a wolf, and mind you, wolves are the best mobs in the game with the dogs. You can literally give it stuff. Like, that is just so cool. It could pick up an emerald. Like, what even is this, dude? It's adorable. It's adorable. And don't forget, it introduces the berries, which is cool because you can, of course, find them in the spruce biome, which gives that biome a reason to go into. And it is a beautiful mob. It does feel like Mo Creatures though. And then we have the panda. Guys, I don't know about the panda. It's sad because the panda is almost the most Mo Creatures. It's the most almost mod-like mob in the game. It's like the horse. It was literally Mo Creatures. I mean, the panda doesn't make sense because it serves zero purpose and it's not nice to find. No one goes to the jungle to find a panda, just like no one goes to the Arctic to find a polar bear. So because of that, it goes right behind the polar bear. Only because the polar bear actually defends and is actually aggressive, unlike the panda, which is lazy and does nothing but eat. I'm sorry, but it is better than the other mobs. But the polar bear is definitely better. I mean, the polar bear, yeah, is definitely better than the panda bear. Then we have another illager. I like these guys. I do like these guys. I'm gonna say he's just right next to this dude. He's just right next to him. I like them a lot. I think they're really cool. I think they're really unique, and I think they're actually kind of difficult when you have a pack of these. I think the raids are a really cool, a really cool event that happens in Minecraft. Not a lot of times is there an event that happens in Minecraft, and the raid is one of them. And it's really cool because these guys can really actually spawn in multiple waves of mobs, which there's not any other mechanic that's like that in Minecraft other than the pillager gang. And I think there are really good mobs, and I'm happy that the village got update with these guys, because it definitely adds more kind of warlike elements into the game, where there's like these different, not races, but like, these different like evolutions of these creatures that are kind of like doing wars, like the piglin brutes, the illagers, the guardians, the pillagers. You got the witches. It's really the wither skeletons. You have like all these forces trying to like fight against each other. It's really unique, and I think that the whole illager gang, and including obviously like this little war pig, I kind of forget what it's called. It kind of goes with it. I'm gonna put it a little bit behind it. It looks kind of ugly. It kind of makes no sense, but obviously it's just a mob that goes with it. It's kind of useless, but I mean, hey, it's kind of all with the gang. I can't rip the gang up too much. They're definitely not as better as all the other mobs in the good tier, but they're definitely better than the cat and the cave spider and everything else before it. I was talking about the wandering trader's llama is literally so bad. I almost want to put it in actually very bad. Actually, you know what's so funny? It's even worse than all of the other mobs because how bad it annoys you. I'm sorry. It is worse than almost every mob in the game. It just is. There's no thought about it. There's no second. There's nothing else you could say. It just is. It just is. So, let's get back to it. Then we have the Wandering Trader. I like this villager because of what it does for you in Skyblock. If it wasn't for the Wandering Villager, you really could not play Skyblock in its truest form. Because when you extrapolate what the Wandering Trader really does, no matter how bad your seed could be, you could make your Minecraft world whatever you'd want to because of the loophole the Wandering Trader has. And because of that, I think he's just behind the action. No, because he spawns so much, no, he's not. No, he's not. Because mind you, no one actually ever trades with him. I was gassing Skyblock. Let me not get ahead of myself. He is good. He's better than most, but he is not better than the section of the good. Would I rather have the Ocelot more than the Wandering Trader? I would. I am sorry, but I literally would. Let me make sure I have the chat here. Okay, I have the chat here. Alrighty. Then we have the Bumblebee, Minecraft's bee. One of Minecraft's most beautiful mobs in the game. Although there's literally no reason on why you'd want this game. I mean, on why you'd want this mob in the game more than most. I have to say that without the bees, Minecraft wouldn't hit the same because the bees act very, very uniquely. And you know why I say that? Because this mob, actually, it's crazy. I would rather have the bee than even the cave spider, not the cat, because this mob basically interacts with itself and other mobs. Bees fly around and go in their nest and basically like mingle together. No other mob really does that, other than like maybe a mob in its baby form, but they don't really act like how the bees act. And the bee is really kind of like what birds should be for the future of Minecraft. Instead of making birds, just make mobs that kind of have their own circle or their ecosystem in themselves, that you don't have to interact with them. Let them just do their daily tasks like the bees, and then just kind of see them And the fact that the honey block is like a new block into the game, it just brings more dimension to that, to in collecting honey from it. It adds a more of a dimension to a mob that looks passive on the surface, but actually has multiple use cases. Now we're at the Hoglin. I actually like the Hoglin. I think the Hoglin is actually a good mob. I think it's... was it a good mob? It's not that unique. It's kind of just like a cow that attacks you. I'd say it's mid, but its counterparts are actually really good. The Piglin are actually one of the best mobs in the Nether, and I actually like Piglins even more than I like the Wither Skeleton. It's crazy. No, I actually don't. It's crazy. You know what? No, I don't like the Piglin more than the Wither Skeleton, but I like the Piglin Brutes as a mob. I think that they're better than even the Zombie and the Husk. The Piglin are like the more evolved Zombie Piglin. Like the Zombie Pigmen. Like the Piglin are cool because you can still trade with them, but they're not hostile like the Brute. And they definitely are better than the Illagers. I think that they're more unique than even the Drowned, and I think the whole atmosphere of like a mob being passive and non-passive is like really cool. Like if you tick them off, they want to attack, kind of like the polar bear. But then you could also trade with them like the villager. But their trades are actually good. They weren't nerfed, but they were like kind of cool. And it's like you can't even see their trades, and their trades are like so random. I would definitely say they're really, really good. And of course, the Piglin Brute, one of the coolest, enemies in the game. They're really powerful, they're really strong, and they aggro really fast. They're really fast moving too. And I like them a lot. I do like them a lot. They're very unique, and they fit the Bastion perfectly. I think they fit the Bastion perfectly. Then we have the Strider. Guys, the Strider is sad. And the Strider holds a fate that not even the Mule has. The Mule is almost a mistake. It's like almost something you never experience. But when you see the Strider, you're kind of just like, but why? In the overworld, the Mule almost makes sense, right? It's basically a cow. It's basically a horse that you could put a chest on. So it almost makes sense to journey on a mule if you want to bring stuff on an adventure that you want to move faster in the early game. But the Strider? If your point of the Strider is to get to the other side, I think pickaxing is a better way. It's safer, it's more practical, and you're going to use it much more than you trying to find the Strider with the saddle on it. It doesn't make sense, and you have to put the carrot on a stick to move it, so you can't even use it like a donkey. You have to like put a fungus on a stick to move it. It's like the pig, but just worse. Who uses the pig to move? No one. So why would you use the Strider? Even worse than the pig. I'm sorry, but the Strider is bad. It's not as bad as the others, but it's bad. And then we come into the other things. The zombified Piglin is just as mid as the zombie horse. I'd say it's better than the zombie horse. The zombie horse doesn't even make sense. But actually, no, it's actually worse. It's actually worse. I don't even understand the zombified form of the Hoglins. I don't know why they become zombies. I thought they were already like dead, so it doesn't even make sense. The Oxalotl, guys, we're starting to get into the most beautiful creatures in the game. The Oxalotl. I'm a big person into reptiles and amphibians. I love lizards. I love all types of animals, but especially frogs, newts, salamanders, and of course, my man's the axolotl. Bro, the axolotl is such peak mob design when it comes to something that won't do anything and is so beautiful and has its unique biome. The underground, like mangrove caves, whatever it's called, the glowy caves, they're beautiful. They come in packs, they come in all type of colors, and they come in a shiny blue variant that's rare. Why don't they do this to more mobs? Why can't mobs have a special rare variant like the rabbit used to have, the killer rabbit? They need to bring that variety back, that rare variety. And I think the fact that you could pick these up in a bucket and kind of move them around like the fish, like the axolotl is like the better fish. You know, if you're looking at stuff to bring home as a pet into your Minecraft world or into your house, the axolotl is what you want. You want to have a little pond in your backyard and have an axolotl in the backyard. You want it, and it will be your best friend forever. It is definitely one of the best mobs that Minecraft has made in the past at least 5 years. Then we have the glow squid. I love the glow squid. I put the glow squid even above the actual squid. I love it. No, actually no. It's not above the squid, but it's close to it. Because these mobs, although they serve no purpose, although you'll never interact with them, they're just cool. And you can make the glowing item frames out of it, so it's just another feature that has, you know, very weird use cases, but it's just aesthetic. You know, Minecraft is missing its aesthetic assets. It's funny because they make these mountain updates, they make these cave updates, but for some reason they don't really have an aesthetic. The underground glow biome does with the axolotls, but a lot of them are missing aesthetic. And I think that's because Minecraft doesn't have a good lighting system. And I think the glow squid is just highlighting what could be better lighting in Minecraft. I like how mobs can have an aura, like a blaze or, you know, the glow squid, where it actually produces some amount of light that might not affect the environment, but visually affect the environment so you could see them from far away. I really, really do like them. Then we have the goat. I'm sorry. It almost looks like a mod. Mo creatures, like some of these mobs, as they make them unique models, like the goat or the frog or even the camel, they look more and more or less like Minecraft, but yet serve, like they basically lose all of the Minecraft element. The goat makes no sense. I've never even seen a goat once in Minecraft. It is mid. I'm sorry. It is worse than everything else because I'm pretty sure you can't even ride this thing. I'm only think the only thing that you could probably come from this is something with a goat horn. I don't even know what that item is in the game, but the fact that I've never seen this mob in the game yet, it just is telling me that this mob is absolute trash. But I would I like spiders more than it? No, I definitely would. Wait, this mob is actually bad. I would put it behind bunnies. I would rather have bunnies more than I would like to have the goat. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, that's 100% true. Then the LA. I love the LA. I don't really have a lot of experience with the LA, but I know that a lot of people who are deep into Minecraft know how to use the LA, and because of that, I'm gonna say the LA is an excellent mob. It's actually better than the husk and the skeleton because it is a unique mob that can transport items, as far as I know. It's a mob that you have to find in the woodland mansions, a structure that's very rare, and it's a mob that's very with the player. I like, again, if you guys can see, like mobs that could interact with the player in a unique way are really gonna be a better mob overall, because not everybody's playing multiplayer, so when they're playing in these solo experiences, they need to feel like the game is talking back to them. They want to feel like the game is interacting with what they're doing in the world. And the LA is a perfect example. Just like the dog following you around, the LA is going to help you around at your base. It's a phenomenal mob. I love the design. It's just a great mob. Then we have the frog, guys. Again, the frog, bro. The frog is an excellent mob. I like the frog a lot. Now, the frog lights, they're very hard to get, and the frog really doesn't have any purpose, but it's very much like the bird. The frog is aesthetic, and that's all it needs to be, and it's very Minecraft-like. It almost looks like how the animals look like in Crossy Road. That's kind of what the frog reminds me of, like those little pixelated little animals. It's really cute. It doesn't have like the craziest purpose, but it fits the swamp perfectly, and I really, really do like that mob. Then we get the warden. This is controversial. I think that the ancient city is cooler than the warden. And there's multiple reasons why I believe this. For the first reason being, the ancient city is one of the most beautiful biomes in the underground system of biomes that you could find. And the rarity is perfection. Like how long it takes you to find one is amazing. But the fact that this mob is you're so easily able to cheese it by running away, makes this mob, although it's strong, it doesn't have any reason to kill it, and this mob is just boring. Its attacks are cool, right? But the fact that it's just like it loses its aura because how it moves. if and I understand how they were using the warden as like it's like blindly walking to you, trying to find you from the sound and stuff. I really like that how that works out. But instead of making the warden move slowly, make him move slowly when he first spawns. But when a shulker, when not a shulker, when one of those things shriek and it locates you, make him go fast. Make him start sprinting. Make him move like a baby zombie. If he moved like a baby zombie, people would freak out by going to the ancient city. And give him some post-dragon gear. Why is the warden a harder boss fight damage wise to the dragon, although he might not have as much health, but yet the warden doesn't really offer much endgame gear. We have the shulker boxes, which I think are very OP, and the elytra, which are very OP, but by the time you get to the end, you know, you need netherite set, at least pretty good enchants to even kill this warden if you're not going to cheese him. If it takes that much gear, can we get some better stuff from him? Can we get like a lasso? Could we get like a hook shot? Could we get, you know, something that makes us go through a block? We could have it kind of like, you know, if you guys played Tears of the Kingdom where you could phase through a block with your, you know, with your hand. If he could phase through the ground, well, maybe we could phase through a block so we can like, if we just double tap up and we, you know, we press up while we jump, we can phase to the next floor of our base. You know, let's use some of his mechanics of him coming out of the ground and maybe we can go through a single block. That would be really cool. You know, like some type of, you know, crystal that can not teleport us, but, you know, phase us through a single block. That would be really unique. And it would make some really cool bases if that's something that you can get, you know, in the end game or even another dimension, which I know a lot of mods have done before, but they definitely should. They definitely should expand on the warden going forward for sure, at least on the loot pool. So I'm gonna give him. He's a good mob, but he's nothing too crazy. Minecraft did a long time without him, so I'm gonna say he kind of spots. I'd say right past the drowned, but not past the wither. The wither is still more important than the warden. I would have the warden over most of the mobs before it. It's just it sucks to see that the warden doesn't really have a special place in my heart yet, although he's been in the game for a few years and he just hasn't really made a spot there. It's just a shame. And then we have the camel. I like the camel. He's probably just right above the other animals. He's not that useful. He's kind of aesthetic. I like how his ears move, but other than that, he doesn't really do anything. I mean, I think you could ride him, or I think you could at least put stuff on him and just take him with a lead. But he's, you know, I would honestly still use a donkey over him, but I think he's more aesthetic than the donkey. He's definitely not good, but he's just very, very mid. We have the sniffer. Bro, the sniffer is mid. I'd say the sniffer is probably cooler. I mean, cooler than the pandas and the bears, but probably not even cooler than the camel. I just don't see a point for the sniffer. It looks like Minecraft. It doesn't look like Minecraft. What even is the sniffer? I've never seen the sniffer. It doesn't make sense. Bro, I just realized, bro. We're at the armadillo. The armadillo is amazing. The armadillo is one of the best mobs in the game. Guys, let me speak my mind. Because of the armadillo, we're able to make wolf armor for the best mob in the game. Guys, don't forget it. The armadillo is one of the most cute, useless, but aesthetically pleasing mob in the game. Its animation is cute. It functions very similar to the fox and the axolotl. It's very independent. It's very to the player. It reacts to the player. It hides. It crawls. It runs. It's so adorable, and it has multiple features. And it's just the it's really is the pinnacle and is showing where some mobs, how they can create them, kind of like the frog, the axolotl. They really hit home much more than stuff like the sniffer does, more stuff than like the panda bear does. Some of these mobs just don't hit, and I know Minecraft can get it right every single time, but guys, the armadillo is one of the best mobs in the game for aesthetic wise. Not every mob has to have a function, but some mobs I would hate for them to go away, and I would rather have one of any of these mobs go away if it meant I could keep my armadillos still in the game. I love them. Now we are at these bogged. I think this one's called the bogged. Bro, this is trash, bro. I'm sorry, guys. The bogged is no different than I'd probably say the witch. It's maybe a little bit better than the witch. I'd say the witch is more important than the bogged. And then we have to wrap it up. We got to end it with the L. Guys, we have these breeze dudes. I forget what they're even called from the dungeons. They're cool because you can get the breeze rods and you can get like the little wind charges, but they're just like, what kind of mob is this? It tries to be like a blaze, but in its own unique way, but it looks like trash. And honestly, it's funny because I haven't done so many trials, so I don't have the most experience with this. And I know the trials are really cool and the keys are really cool, but this mob is bottom of the barrel. It is beyond mid. And that's it. It's just mid. And that, guys, is the Toropwnz tier list, guys. We have the best runner-ups. We have the wolf slash the dog. We have the cow. We have the mushroom cow, the iron golem, the axolotl, and the beloved armadillo. That is the Toropwnz Minecraft mob tier list. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.